we're going to hear directly from the jurors in the American Sniper trial, a story that has played out both in court and at your local multiplex. So how did the 10 women and 2 men on the jury reach their guilty verdict? Here's ABC's Ryan Owens with an ABC News exclusive.
We, the jury, find the defendant Eddie Routh guilty of the felony offense of capital murder as charged.
With that, the Marine-turned-murderer will spend the rest of his life in a Texas prison for killing American sniper Chris Kyle and his friend Chad Littlefield. Kyle's widow, Taya, who was the first tearful witness in this case, posted this on Facebook today. God bless the jury. 7 of the 12 jurors who decided Eddie Routh's fate sat down with ABC News for an exclusive look inside their deliberations.
No one wants to go to bed thinking, oh my gosh, I just put somebody away for life. You know, the only thing that gave me peace is that there was so much evidence.
They say Texas justice is swift, but this one was quick even by Lone Star standards. The jury of 10 women and 2 men took only about 2 hours to reject Routh's insanity defense. The deliberations were pretty short. Was this an easy decision?
It was an easy decision based on the fact that we all kind of were on the same page going into the deliberations. There was so much information coming in that each of us grasped onto different little pieces of it, and when we put it all together, it was like the puzzle just came together. Life in prison wasn't punishment enough for some jurors. The state did not go for the death penalty against Eddie Routh. If they had, show me your hands, how many of you think you would have voted for death in this case? 3 hands for death. These jurors say not one of them bought Routh's defense.
In the very end, this young man knew right from wrong. Yeah. And so with a good conscience, we had to say he was guilty of this crime because he knew right from wrong.
I got a woman and a kid 200 yards out moving towards the convoy.
This courtroom drama, which lasted 9 days, is the sequel to the Hollywood blockbuster American Sniper. Your call. Chris Kyle, the deadliest sniper in U.S. military history, played by Bradley Cooper. Did it add pressure to you to know that, you're writing the real-life ending to this huge blockbuster?
Honestly, I never really thought about the movie throughout this. We were there to hand down the judgment, and that's what we did.
The case was never a whodunit. Routh admits he killed both men at this Texas gun range 2 years ago. The only question for jurors, was the former Marine so mentally ill he didn't know right from wrong when he shot them both multiple times in the back?
So the state calls Taya Kyle.
The prosecution began their case with Chris Kyle's widow, Taya.
I need you to be human again.
Played on the big screen by Sienna Miller.
Who were you married to prior to February the 2nd, 2013?
Chris Kyle.
Clutching her husband's dog tags, she walked jurors through family pictures.
I was outside our house on Easter morning, Chris hiding Easter eggs for the kids.
Detailing the last time she saw her husband alive.
We just said we loved each other and gave each other a kiss and a hug like we always did.
And the moment she realized something was terribly wrong.
Then I texted, "Are you okay? I'm getting worried."
Did he text back?
No. It's kind of hard not to put some of it together that I haven't heard from him and I'm worried and I haven't heard from him, and then a police officer shows up.
It was mentally and emotionally exhausting from day one to yesterday. It was really tough, and there was several of us that did not hold it together. There was lots of tears shed.
And a lot of evidence to sift through, like this interrogation tape where Routh repeatedly tells a Texas Ranger he knew right from wrong. The jurors say the way he answered this question invalidated his insanity defense from the start.
What you did today is wrong, right? You understand that? Really?
He even apologized to the 2 families.
I'm so sorry for what I've done. If I could have done it differently, I'd have done it so much differently.
Routh's defense team hoped these videos would show he was psychotic, suffering from severe schizophrenia.
Eddie Routh was insane at the time and not guilty by reason of insanity.
Insanity defenses almost never succeed. So in that context, this was a real argument of a defendant who had severe mental illness and yet still was faced with an incredibly difficult legal challenge, which was to demonstrate that he simply didn't understand that what he was doing was wrong.
If he doesn't know what he's doing, he's not really capable of answering that question. That's just like asking him if the sky's purple.
One of the experts we had him examined by diagnosed him with schizophrenia. There were other experts also that thought he was legally insane, and so no, I wouldn't second guess, or I don't think it was a gamble.
Did you think Eddie Routh was crazy?
I don't think he's insane at all. I think he played the system.
Routh now joins a list of notorious killers who gambled on an insanity plea. John Wayne Gacy, David Berkowitz, Ted Bundy, Theodore Kaczynski, and Jeffrey Dahmer. Each failed or ultimately pleaded guilty.
Well, we will file a notice of appeal this week for him, and we think that his statement was involuntary based on his state of mind. And that will be one specific thing that will be attacked on appeal.
Tonight, the jurors who rejected Routh's defense say they will rest easy after a decision that was anything but.
You look out, and no matter what was being delivered, there's a family on one side of the courtroom suffering, there's a family on the other side of the courtroom suffering, and knowing at the end of the day, your decision is not going to fix any of this for all of them.
That may be true, but perhaps it's some consolation for Taya Kyle, the widow who posted that God bless the jury on Facebook with a link to this Pete Scobell Band recording. Saying, "This song is Chris, it is me. It is all the people who carry Chris in the hearts he left behind." I'm Ryan Owens for Nightline in Stephenville, Texas.
So what do you think of the verdict? Should the jury have taken the insanity defense to heart? You can weigh in on our Facebook page.